Hey everybody, GforGames here, and today I'm going to be doing my top 11 favorite bug type Pokemon. Usually someone would say, why top 11? And because usually I like to go one step beyond, or I watch too much Nostalgia Critic. As you can probably already tell, I, I watched Nostalgia Critic, and I'm doing a top 11, so let's just not waste any time with that. This is GforGames' top 11 bug type Pokemon. Enjoy. Number 11, Butterfree. The reason why I put Butterfree as number 11 was because though it is a bug type Pokemon, I remember back to my childhood, it's really not my all-time favorite, but still Butterfree is still a great Pokemon. And in fact, it was probably one of the few Pokemon that actually made me cry in the anime, since you all know Ash lets Butterfree go so Butterfree can be with its one true love. That was the one episode that made me cry. In fact, funny story about that is that Butterfree, like the Butterfree episode, was so sad they even made a book about it. I'm dead serious. The whole book is basically the episode of when Butterfree was released. They read this back in kindergarten, or well, back in elementary school, back when like maybe third grade. But still, this is a Pokemon that will always be treasured in my heart, and this is a Pokemon that will always be remembered in the Pokemon world. I mean, come on, people! Out of all like the bug Pokemon, I'm sure a lot of people know about Butterfree. So yeah, so Butterfree, good job of earning this spot in my top 11. Number 10, Durant. Now, Durant was put in my number 10 for these reasons, mostly because it's a pretty cool looking Pokemon, and the fact is it's also half Steel type. So yeah, Scizor no longer holds the title of half Bug, half Steel type. So yeah, not to mention it's also the fastest Steel type Pokemon to date. It's still a Bug type, but you know what I mean. And besides that, it's about time they actually brought in an ant. I mean, come on now. They've gotten moths. I mean, they've gotten bees more than once. Even butterflies. Butterfree. I just said that like my top and number 11. I mean, come on. They finally decided to bring in an ant. I mean, about time, I have to say. And it's the fastest of, steel type. So yeah, I thought he was a pretty cool Pokemon. So yeah, Durant, good job of making it to my number 10. Number 9, Beedrill. Well, the reason why I put Beedrill to number 9 was because back in the day, he was actually the coolest looking Pokemon. Coolest looking bug type Pokemon. Now there's a lot more other cooler bug type Pokemon. But back in the beginning, he was one of the few Pokemon that could like fully evolve quicker than other Pokemon. I mean, he would become a Beedrill by level 10, which I thought was pretty cool. I thought, hey, I've already trained my Pokemon to its third evolution. That's pretty cool. Not to mention, Beedrill did look pretty threatening. I mean, it had two needles for hands. I mean, come on, how threatening is that? I mean, come on, that's just like, would you want to be stung by this? No, I don't think you would. So, yeah, Beedrill definitely deserves my number 9. So yeah, way to go, Beedrill. Number 8, Scolipede. Sorry if I mispronounced his name. I don't know if I said it right or not actually. But yeah, I might get some dislikes for this because I'm sure a lot of people like this Pokemon. You're probably wondering why I put it in number 8. Well, for this reason. Because, well, Scolipede is a pretty cool looking Pokemon. Trust me, I saw it and I was like, whoa, this thing looks pretty badass. It's also, the heaviest and the tallest of all bug type Pokemon, and in fact, it's also the heaviest of all poison type Pokemon. So yeah, covered some ground there. So yeah, Scolipede. Pretty cool looking Pokemon. Tall, looks very threatening. So this is a Pokemon that I would definitely not want to mess with. So yeah, Sculpey, good job, made it to my number 8. Number 7, Adgeruda. Now, the reason why I put Adgeruda on number 7 list was because I thought Adgeruda really looked cool. I mean, it was a freaking ninja. Sure, its defense and special defense isn't all that great, but its speed definitely makes up for it. In fact, Adgeruda is basically the fastest Generation 5 Pokemon. And, I mean, look at it. It's like a ninja, something you don't want to mess with at night. So, yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why I put Adgeruda in my top 11 and why he's on number 7. So, good job, Adgeruda. Number 6, Heracross. Come on, folks, you all knew he was going to be on this list. Heracross was just awesome back in Generation 2. I mean, he looked like a Pokemon you did not want to mess with. In fact, he was a pretty heavy hitter back in Generation 2. He's basically half bug, half fighting type Pokemon. And if that doesn't say frightening, I don't know what does. Heracross was probably the Pokemon back in Generation 2 that I really liked to use back in the day. He was one of the bug type Pokemon that was very useful in battle, and which is why he is basically on my top 11 list and why he made it on number 6. So, good job, Heracross. Number 5, Denchula. I know it's his Japanese name, but you know I like Denchula better. So. Anyway, the reason why I put Denchula at number 5 was because, well, it's pretty much a very unique type. I mean, it's half electric, half bug type, which is completely awesome. Not to mention now he only has like what he only has 2 weaknesses, rock and fire. So yeah, pretty cool. Also, the funny fact about this one is that its evolved form, Joltik, is actually the smallest Pokemon like ever. It's basically like the smallest Pokemon ever, and pretty fun fact there. But the reason also why I picked him was because it was a pretty cool Pokemon, and the fact is it was half electric, so and electric is one of my favorite types. So yeah, so Dentrula, good job. Number 4, Pinsir. The reason why I put Pinsir as number 4 was because, well, look at it. It's basically threatening, and besides that, it was one of my favorite Pokemon back in Kanto. My second favorite bug type in Kanto, really, I should say. Not to mention, it looks very threatening. I mean, come on, look at it. That thing could, I don't know, easily break someone's arm, easily decapitate any Pokemon. I mean, come on, that thing is badass, and let's face facts, you don't ever want those little pinchers to, grab hold of you. And reason why I put Pinsir in, you're all probably wondering, oh, why did I put Heracross in? Because one, it's my top 11 bug type Pokemon, so yeah, sorry about that. And two, it's just I like Pinsir a lot more. Not Not to mention, it was probably one of the bug type Pokemon I actually used back in the Elite Four. So, fun fact about that. So yeah, Pinsir, good job. You really deserve my number 4. Well, you're all probably wondering, wait a minute, if Pinsir was your second favorite Kanto bug type Pokemon, who was your first? Well, you're about to find out in a minute. Number 3, Scizor. Come on, folks, you all knew that Scizor was going to be on this list. That's just common fact right there. I mean, come on, you can't have a top 11 bug type Pokemon without Scizor. Come on now. Scizor is probably one of the most recognizable bug type Pokemon back in Generation 2. I mean, he had a unique style into him, actually. He basically was half bug, half steel, and let's face facts here, back in the day, steel types basically had a really good defense. So, yeah, Scizor was pretty much a badass, and to this day is still a badass. Not to mention, he's also the evolution of my favorite Kanto bug-type Pokemon, Scyther. And let me tell you, I'm glad they gave him an evolution. Sure, you have to trade. Sure, you have to trade him with another trainer, and you need the item metal coat, but still pretty cool Pokemon. And I'm really glad that he came out to be a bug type Pokemon than any other Pokemon. Because let's face facts here, bug type Pokemon need some cool looking Pokemon too. They need to really get this sense of bug type Pokemon are weak, but Scizor proved that bug types can handle themselves well, and I want to personally say that thank you Scizor for that, and thank you guys at Game Freak and Nintendo for making such a cool and badass looking Pokemon. Number 2, Excalibur. Wow. This Pokemon literally is one of the most heaviest hitters bug type Pokemon ever made. I mean, literally, he has the highest attack of any bug type Pokemon to date right now as we speak. And not just that, but it's also tied with Metagross and Excadrill for the highest attack of all steel type Pokemon. That itself is amazing. I mean, Metagross, the half steel, half psychic Pokemon, the Metagross that literally gets like just you look at Metagross and you literally just start shaking in fear. Wow, that's impressive. And it's a bug type too. I mean, I have to say, Generation 5 really did well with the bug type Pokemon. And Excalibur, another bug type and steel type Pokemon, and wow, they really did well with him. Not to mention, he knows the move Levitate, so also a bonus right there. So yeah, Excalibur, you definitely deserved my number 2 spot. And finally, my number 1 spot of my favorite bug type Pokemon is Volcarona. This Pokemon right here is awesome. I mean, half bug, half fire type. I mean, this Pokemon literally could kick Scizor or Electivire, hell, maybe even Metagross's ass. Not to mention, it has the highest special attack of any bug type Pokemon, and it's just a really cool looking Pokemon at that too. So, not to mention also, this Pokemon has been such a big favorite now that a lot of people have had him in top 10 list or even top 100 lists. And I'd say I can't blame him. I mean, this is a really awesome Pokemon, and the reason why I put him in my top 11 and put him as my number 1 favorite bug type of them all. I mean, shit, I still use this Pokemon in my team. So yeah, Volcarona. This definitely proves that Generation 5 has really done well with the bug type Pokemon, and maybe this will, get rid of the stuff like type Pokemon are weak and everything else. Like after you see like Excalibur and Volcarona, like you don't ever want to mess with these Pokemon. Like these Pokemon could literally kick your ass. So yeah, Volcarona, you definitely earned my number 1. You definitely earned it. You definitely earned number 1, man. So hopefully later I'll be able to do another type, a top 11 or another top 10 type, hopefully soon. And well, this is GforGames and signing out.